WNBA players hating on Caitlin Clark. I've seen a lot of rumors and stuff about them hating on Caitlin Clark. I haven't seen most of the clips. I think I've seen this one before. But I'm going to give you all my blind reaction to most of the clips. I'm going to tell you if I think the hating is justified or if I think they're overdoing it. But not a long intro, so without further ado, like the video, by the way. Let's get straight into it, man.
About it from you just mentioned Diana, like in the league, because there's some stars going to the WNBA. I know on the NBA side, like those guys, those vets are just like, all right, come get it, young fella, right? When the college guys come.
SVP is clearly setting her up right here. She had a path to take. He's clearly setting her up. I mean, he's doing his job, but he knows.
I'm out. They're waiting.
He knows what he's doing.
I mean, Camilla's coming, Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP.
Off the bat. That tone of voice, her body language just shows you that she's about to say something hateful.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing.
No.
And that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better.
Okay.
But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And
Okay. She is a legend in her sport. I didn't know a lot of WNBA players before Caitlin Clark got there, but I knew her. I knew these two, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. I knew Brittany Griner. I knew Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie. I knew a handful. So she has, as Shaq calls it, the G14 classification. She can talk about this stuff, and she's right to say there'll be an adjustment period. She's extremely right to say that. She's not going to go straight from the college to dominate the WNBA. But as somebody who has the right to talk about these things, the last thing you want to do is downplay what Caitlin Clark is about to do for your league. If the fans here, one of the legends of the league say, yeah, she's going to come to the league, she's not going to be dominating like she did in college. The amount of fans that will think, oh, she might be right, and not tune in because they only want to see her dominate. They don't want to see her go through an adjustment period. You can't say stuff like that. Even if it's true and it does happen, you don't want to downplay what she can do because she brings a whole new audience to the WNBA, an entire new audience. This is just the first clip. I got a lot to say about this. This is the first
it might
clip.
take a little bit longer for some people.
Right on. That's perfectly said. But that's the honesty of what it is. I mean, this is a profession. We got to eat. You're not trying to take food off my table.
Okay, that is also true. She has to eat, but Caitlin Clark can put a lot more food in your hand. The amount of attention she brings to women's basketball is ridiculous. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Let's get to more clips.
And you said that Caitlin is going to go through a learning curve. Mm-hmm. Some people were critical of you for saying that, but I don't know that it necessarily meant that you're not welcoming to her, right? I mean, how do you? I mean, it seems like you were just saying the reality is she's going to have a learning.
That's an evil snicker. Once again, body language tells it all. Body language. She looked like she's about to say something hateful again.
It's the new fans. They're really sensitive these days. You can't say anything.
She's talking to the fans. I guess that's me.
It's kind of like when you go from kindergarten or first grade, there's a learning adjustment. When you go from high school to college, there's a learning adjustment. I don't think I said anything that wasn't factually correct. And
you're right.
Like anything,
she's right.
Greatness is going to translate, and
she's right.
She's proven that in every level, and I don't see it being any different in the WNBA.
Okay, like I said, she has the jurisdiction to talk about these things, but once again, body language tells it all. That body language tells it all. It's different than, Michael Jordan coming to the league and they're hating on him coming to the WNBA because they already have a fan base. The same thing with LeBron. They already have a big fan base, and I don't want to say they can afford to lose some fans, but the WNBA is a lot different. Y'all don't really have any fans like that. If you see somebody that can help, and not just Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, anybody that can help you grow the game helps. Don't hate. All right, let's get some other clips.
Get started.
What do you think about Ice Cube and the Big
I had
Three
not
offering
seen
Caitlin
this
Clark
one.
$5 million
Or the last one.
to play in their league?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, but the first one is
That's not good. First of all, maybe it's my fault. I call myself a basketball enthusiast, but I don't really know who she is. That's because I wasn't following the WNBA. That's probably my fault. Maybe she's a legend or something. I know Sue Bird. I know Diana Taurasi. I know Diana Taurasi. But I know who she is. So let's get that off.
So you offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA. Big Three does not happen during overseas season. So that doesn't make sense.
That's true.
And then for us to get like just constantly shit on, like you can't even acknowledge the growth and how amazing the WNBA is doing because.
What did she just say? She just said you can't even acknowledge the growth. I'll let her finish. I'll let her finish.
Shit like this happens.
When
You didn't even have to bring up the W. If you're gonna say that it's for that.
She just said you can't acknowledge WNBA because and the growth of it because stuff like this happens. Those words just backfired on her. That is hypocritical. That's extremely hypocritical. Caitlin Clark is doing nothing but grow the WNBA. And you were mad at other people for not acknowledging growth, but you're doing the same thing. What is she talking about?
Then stand on that. But I don't think I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman. That makes sense.
Yes.
But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think. And I don't think it really makes any sense.
Right.
What is Caitlin Clark? Somebody tell me what Caitlin Clark is. Is she not a female athlete that's going to the WNBA? What is she yapping about? And if Ice Cube offered you the $5 million, nobody would bat an eye because we don't know who you are. And I'm not big on hating professional athletes because I'm not a professional athlete. But for her to be that hypocritical is wild to me. What, bro?
Away, we have Lexi Brown hating on Caitlin Clark's $5 million offer from Ice Cube to join the Big Three.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time.
I've seen most of this, and I'm about to get triggered again watching this.
That player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years.
Kelsey Plum did. I know who Cheryl Swoops is. So I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. But she's either ignorant, uneducated, or just a liar. She was only in college she did it in 4 years. I'm gonna let her finish.
But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So
She didn't use a
she's
COVID
already
year.
had an extra year to break that record.
The fact that she said this without doing her research is wild. And why are you hating? What good does this bring you to hate on an athlete that can bring your sport millions of followers? What good does this do? And she's retired. So she definitely has not as big as to say as somebody who's still playing like Diana Taurasi. So it definitely can do no positive for her to hate. Because she's not even playing anymore. She's not even downplaying her ability, downplaying Caitlin's ability to upplay hers because she's not playing anymore. Makes no sense to me.
Truly a broken record. Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way.
Look at this. Look at this. You didn't see anybody talking like this about Michael Jordan coming to the league. I don't know why women are just choosing to be petty about this. This seems like a high school girl that just got her spot taken on the cheer team. That's what this seems like to me. Or a high school girl. Okay, for this situation, this is like a high school girl who graduated and she was the best cheerleader at the school. Then some other girl comes up and this girl's not even at the school anymore. And now it's like, oh, that girl's not even that good. Bro, what are you doing? What good does this bring you?
It'll be, and I don't think it should be. Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like,
this is the dumbest thing I've ever come across in 2024 so far. You have 25-year-olds playing against 20. Let me show you something. Hold on. That's how stupid this is. Hold on. Do something simple, Cheryl. Let me show you something extremely simple. Caitlin Clark, age. How old does that say? How old does that say? All she had to do, she was one button away from looking up Caitlin Clark age and it's saying 22. And she chooses to say Caitlin Clark's 25. What are we doing? Like I said, I'm not big on hating. She's also a legend. Cheryl Swoop's also a legend. I just don't see the gain in doing this. I don't. Sorry, I keep pausing. Let's continue.
You should be killing them. Yeah. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
No,
Clark
she
right
has
now
not.
Probably takes about 40 shots a game.
40?
Here we go.
And I don't know if Gil doesn't know, but this is his job to shut this down, bro. Gil let her make a fool of herself. 40 shots a game? No. It's not Kobe after
I know
Shaq.
you like that.
Hell yeah.
Cheryl
Oh my
Swoops
God.
told 3 big lies in her statements about Caitlin Clark. The first is how many years she played college basketball.
Thank you.
Implying that she played 5 years because of COVID. In reality, she's played 4, just like Kelsey Plum,
Yes.
and she even broke the record in less games.
Oh,
The
look at
second
that!
lie is how many shots a game Caitlin Clark takes, saying she takes 40 shots a game.
By the way, Iowa posted this after Cheryl Swoop's comments. Shout out Iowa. They all about the smoke. 22, true senior. Games played 123, which is less than Kelsey Plum did to break the record. Points, assists, field goal percentage per game. She said Caitlin Clark takes 40 shots and she takes under 20. Cheryl.
Over the course of her career, Clark has only shot 19 shots a game, which is less than half of what Swoop said. And finally, Swoop said that Caitlin Clark is 25 years old.
My
But in
gosh.
reality, she's only 22. Cheryl would then make a response after being called out for lying.
I'm going to say this, and then I want to be
Okay,
done
okay.
with this whole
I haven't-
conversation.
I haven't seen this. Apparently she got called out for lying is what the guy just said. I'm excited to hear this.
For people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, like, first of all, black people can't be racist, but, like, that's the...
Excuse me. Why would she just say that? Black people can't, first of all, oh my God, black people can't be racist. For you to say that is racist. Okay, I'm getting worked up. Let's continue.
farthest thing from my mind. Like, I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white. My best childhood friend is white. So it's important for me that I speak up for people that look like me. Like, it's Black History Month. So, like, our ancestors.
So she just said people called her out for being racist. And then she continues to say, I have white friends. And then she goes, I was not talking about race. I wasn't making it racist. And then goes back to making it a race thing. Because at first, she wasn't talking about race. She was talking about Caitlin Clark as an individual. I never thought she was talking about her being white. I never even saw her mention that. But for her to say, I wasn't talking about race. And then go, I have white friends. And then go, you have to stick up for black people. What she went back to make, she didn't go back. She made the argument about race. Just talk about Caitlin Clark. I never thought you'd being racist. But now when you say, I have to stick up for black people, now I'm thinking you're talking about racist. Like, why? Talk about basketball.
Fought and died for us to have opportunities that we have today.
Yes.
I have, like, no issues with Caitlin.
Yes.
Her breaking the record, I think, obviously is a tremendous accomplishment. Although, you know, we could get into that discussion also, because there's a big...
What is she doing? Okay. Maybe she's looking for a viral moment. Maybe she wanted to do this, trying to get that on the internet. Maybe she knew it was a lie, but she wanted to blow up. That's the only thing I can think of. There is no positive that she gains from doing that to Caitlin Clark. All she's doing is bringing. If you can't tell, I'm also black. I'm also black, and I'm not sitting here saying, "If sticking for black people," bro. I have noticed, and I'm not even in the league. I have noticed that Caitlin Clark is bringing the WNBA millions of fans and millions of dollars. What does a retired athlete have to gain from hating, then saying, I'm not a hater, then going back to hating again? Because she said, I think what she did was, breaking the record was a huge accomplishment. I think it was awesome. And then she goes, although we're going to have discussion about, I'm sorry, I keep pausing. This is
big debate on Lynette Woodard having the actual record.
I'm not really sure what any of that had to do with her lying, and I like how she still insists.
Yeah, she never even apologized for lying on Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark shouldn't have the record she legitimately broke. I know she hasn't played in the WNBA, but our last hater is Jemele Hill. During an interview, Jemele Hill made multiple claims against Clark, saying that the women's basketball audience would be growing with or without Clark, also mentioning that Clark is only getting so much attention because she's white.
That the criticism is often very one-sided. Caitlin Clark talks her shit. Caitlin Clark is demonstrative. Caitlin Clark, people aren't bothered by that. People aren't bothered by it.
Demonstrative. I've only seen her talk crazy a couple times, and she's not even talking to somebody. She'll go like this to the crowd. She doesn't say anything on social media. Let me keep going.
Because they're caught up in the narrative of, oh, here's this, wonderful, kind soul.
I haven't seen this either.
The great state of Iowa representing Middle America. So they put all these sort of what happens in these sports race wars is everybody projects their own shit on the people coming.
All of this hate going towards Caitlin Clark from the WNBA doesn't make any sense. WNBA players and the media have been complaining about lack.
I also heard about her. Apparently, she said something too. I haven't seen the clip.
Of pay and a small audience forever now. So why would you hate on the biggest prospect of all time?
Thank you.
She has the
okay. So the last girl, I also don't know who she is, and I call myself a basketball fan. But if she's a legend, y'all can get on me in the comments or whatever. If I'm supposed to know who she is, I'm sorry, but that just proves my point. I'm a basketball fan, and I don't know who you are because the WNBA was not getting coverage. It's not my fault. I wasn't going out of my way to go watch WNBA games. They weren't being posted on ESPN, and now they are. But for her to say the WNBA is growing with or without Caitlin Clark, that may be true, but it's not growing anywhere near as fast as it is with Caitlin Clark. If she were to decide, I'm not going to the WNBA, I'm staying in college for another year, let's say she goes overseas next year for some unknown reason, they wouldn't have near the amount of fans that are coming to the game. So yes, it may grow without Caitlin Clark. That's just how evolution works. Stuff gets bigger over time. Stuff gets better over time. More people come to see the games, but it would nowhere near as much with Caitlin Clark. Listen, all these girls are pros. They have more classification than me to talk about somebody in their field. But I feel like I don't see, as somebody who loves the game, I don't see the point in you downplaying somebody just because I don't see point. I just don't see the point. Like, I heard LeBron say the other day that for the first time in their league history, one of the teams flew private. You think that's an accident that Caitlin Clark is here? Like I said before, it's not just Caitlin Clark bringing fans. Angel Reese, the same thing. Same thing. But I don't hear WNBA players hating as much as on Angel Reese as Caitlin Clark. And I'm not saying it's a race thing because I don't care about that stuff. If you talk about race, then it's you making it racist. I don't care about that. I think they're hating on her more because she has more fans. Maybe they're like the WWE. Maybe they're trying to make themselves rivals for Caitlin Clark. Maybe they're like trying to like upplay a whole thing. If that's their goal, okay. But For them to downplay her abilities, what Cheryl Swoops said is unacceptable to me. Unacceptable. For you to lie about her age, how long she played in college, her shot attempts, you lie about that. Then they come back on, not apologize for lying. And then talk about, I'm not a hater. I'm glad she broke the record and she deserves it. Although people can argue about that because then to say that. Then the other girl talk about the league is growing with or without Caitlin Clark. Then the other girl talking about the WNBA is growing, but we can't grow as much because things like this happening. Ice Cube offering a WNBA player. This video got me worked up. Listen, the only time before Caitlin Clark got there, the only time I ever watched a WNBA game was I was in a hotel. I turned it on accident. I said, "What the heck is this?" Turned it off. That was years ago. It's the only time I ever watched a WNBA game. I watched a full game the other day. She was in it. Then I watched again. Asia Wilson played. So she's not just bringing her. The thing is, she's not just bringing herself fans and fame. She's bringing your whole league. Like, they sold out their first game against the Connecticut Sun, I think it was. I don't even know teams like that yet. I'm getting there. I'm watching games. Their first game, they sold out the arena for the first time since their first opening game in the organization's history. They sold out a game for the first time since the very first game in the organization's history. They sold out the game. You think there was an accident that Caitlin Clark was playing? Listen, and I'm a fan of basketball. I think Diana Taurasi's a bucket. I think she's tough. I wasn't old enough to watch Cheryl Swoops play like that. But anyway, but before I keep going, man, I may do a part 2 on this because apparently there's more videos of her getting hate. So if y'all want a part 2, let me know. But that's all I got for y'all, man, today. Stay blessed. I usually do positive videos, but come on now. Stay blessed. Like the video. Subscribe. Share. All that nonsense. I'll see y'all later, man.